What's up, everyone? It is your girl Beaute87 here, aka Grace, and today I was inspired to make this video by my girl Karen Harris. So she recently did a video of all the palettes that inspired her to make like Barbie looks, and as you can see, I currently have like a wannabe Barbie situation I look on now. I created with one of the palettes we're gonna talk about now, but I divided mine into like 3 different categories, if you will, of the types of Barbies. So it wasn't just like all Barbies have to wear pink type things. So I have like more of a smoky eye Barbie. So if you're more into like the berry tone smoky eye Barbie looks with a little bit of pink, then I got a section for you. Then I got a section for like the basically like mermaid Barbies. So if you had like blue, greens, and purples and pinks and stuff like that, I got a section for you. And then I just got the traditional Barbies. We're gonna start off with the traditional Barbie. She has a little bit of blue with her stuff and a little bit of purple, so just be forewarned about that. Then I'll get into the smoky Barbie, then we'll end with my favorite, which is the mermaid Barbie, which I feel like is what I would be, the mermaid Barbie, not the traditional Barbie, just because, you know, I like blue, green, and purple, so that's why, of course, I would come up with a mermaid Barbie section. But shout out to Karen for doing this, because when I saw her video, I was like, that looks like fun, and it doesn't require me to do an eye look, because I'm always doing eye looks. But I still gave y'all a cute little Barbie moment. If you want a video on this, I did pre-film it just in case somebody said yes. But we're going to start off with the palette that's on. Are we? No, I was about to say we're going to start off with the palettes on my eyes right now, but I put that in the smoky Barbie section. Anyway, let's start off with this one. So this is the Sweet Pinks from Juvia's Place. Of course, this would be a classic go-to pink. This palette would be for somebody who doesn't wear pink that often, but you're going to be a part of the Barbie craze that's going on right now. It's a cute little 6-pan palette that you can just go ahead, grab, put on your eyes, support you a cute black on brand. Plus, Juvia's Place is really affordable, and they're always having sales. Like, they usually have these on sale for like $6. They're like 6 pans for $6 and stuff like that, and they do 60% off palettes. Then you can use a coupon code on top of it if you buy it from their website. So Juvia's Place would be a great place for somebody who wants to join the pink Barbie movement but doesn't really wear pink that often. You should definitely go pick up this palette, and I love this one. I think the shimmers in here are really nice. Let me swatch some of them. I'm trying not to swatch a whole bunch of stuff because I'm not a person who swatches anyway as a general rule. I just wanted you to see like the different tones of pink it has and why I picked it out, because it's like it has really nice different tones of pink. Y'all, I didn't erase the swatches from my hand the last time I had them. So this is the darker pink that was in the palette, and then this is that lighter pink that was the first one in the corner. So the first one I swatched with this one right here, and then the second one with this one right here. So this is the first one and this is the second one, but I think they are both stunning. And if you want to have the Barbie look and not spend like $1 million a have, that's a good alternative way, especially if you know you're not going to use that palette afterwards. Some of these other palettes might not be for you. I did pick a couple of toned down ones too though, so it's not like it has to be a true bow hot pink Barbie type situation in order for you to be a part of the Barbie movement. And that's why I picked other sets of colors that I feel like still someone went with the Barbie theme, because they had different type of Barbies in the movie, I'm told. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. Next, there is the Sigma Numad palette. This to me is a more mature Barbie, if you will, because I guess I should have put this in the smoky one now that I think about it, because it's giving more mauve smoky vibes, but you know, it's already here now, so it's too late. But I would definitely categorize this as smoky as well. But if you just want like a simple soft Barbie look, then I definitely feel like you could go for this one. But yeah, you'll see her again in the smoky section, because that's why I actually meant to put her in, just, you know, didn't. Next, we have the Amrezy palette. This is what she looks like on the inside. It has this bright, hot pink shimmery shade in here called Resi. It has a little bit of smokiness to it. It gives you a cute little pop of blue moment. My favorite shade in this palette is Cupcake. I know a lot of people like the shade Barb best, but I love Cupcake. I'm going to swatch both of them, and you all can tell me which one you prefer. But it's like, I am obsessed with Cupcake. Cupcake is what I live for in this palette. Like, you think I live for the blue because y'all know I love blue, but no, Cupcake is giving and I'm living. It's not that Barb doesn't look nice, it's just if I had to choose, I'm gonna pick Cupcake. And then I'll swatch Resi too, since, you know, that's supposed to be popular shades. But this is Cupcake at the top. Of course, I swatched my favorite one the best. See, this is Barb. I feel like Barb is just okay, but I guess if you normally buy mainstream palettes and don't buy indie brands, maybe it'd be more impressive to you than it is to me. And then this is Resi, but I just love Cupcake in this palette. And I feel like if you put Barb on top of Cupcake, it would be pretty cool. Let's see. Yeah, see, Barb on top of Cupcake is giving and I'm living, but it's like just Barb on its own, I'm not that impressed with. I don't know why though, because it's like I said, it's not like it's a bad shade. It's just like, I'm like, okay, that's cute, but you know, it's not that big a deal to me. Oh, y'all, of course the battery wants to start trying to die. I didn't plan on swatching as much, so I keep having to open the bag. I have the makeup wipe in so it won't dry out, just in case I do decide to swatch some more. So that's what all that noise was. But yeah, this one unfortunately is discontinued, so you can't get it anymore unless you buy it off somebody off Macari or something like that. But it is a very nice palette if you are interested in it. Of course, y'all know I got some actual Barbie palettes. We'll get to those in a second. I'm ending it with those. But next I have Flirty Talk from ColourPop. Now I did recreate this one like I told you all I was in my haul video. If you watch my latest haul video, then you know I said I was going to recreate this. And I asked you all if you want to see it. Nobody really said if they want to or not, so I just recreated it on my own, and you're going to see what it looks like now. So this is what mine looks like. I just took some of the purples out of the Bon Voyage, the BTS palette. I took shades out of that one and put it in here to make it more of my liking. Like this shade came from there. This shade I think came from there as well, or maybe it came from the It's a Small World After All palette. I'm pretty sure this one came from the BTS palette as well, and this one came from It's a Small World After All, as well as this one, I believe. So I took stuff from all different palettes in order to create this palette to look the way I wanted to, but they had a whole bunch of pressed glitters in it and really light shades that don't necessarily work for my skin tone. So I just felt like these shades would work better for me, so I made sure I made it look like this, and I think it looks stunning. Now you can buy this palette and it'll still have a good majority of these shades in it. Like it'll have this shade and this shade and this shade and this shade, and I think this pink shade was already in here, and this red shade. So majority of the shades you're seeing here would still be in this palette, but you'd have to look up the original palette to see what it looks like. But I feel like this is a good, nice little palette. Now I haven't tried this palette yet. I was just showing you based upon color preferences when it comes to this particular one. I have not put it on my eyes yet, so do not ask me because I don't know, bro. Now let me go get a battery, and then we'll talk about the 3 to 4 Barbie, and well, you know what, I'll just talk about one more, and then we'll come back and talk about the ones that's the closest to Barbie inspired color stories. So next I have the Ace Beaute Paletopathy palette. I know Margaret Turner said she didn't really like the formula on this. I love the formula on this, and I love the color story of this. To me, this screams like 80s Barbie, like just with the packaging and the color story and all that, 80s to 90s Barbie. I feel like that's what it's giving, because it gives you nice pink set here, and then you have purples, and then you have some blues and some other tones, and I feel like these are just bright colors that you saw a lot in the 80s and like early 90s. So that's why to me this is more like an 80s 90s Barbie, but I still feel like it does give Barbie vibes, so that's why I went ahead and included it. Now it doesn't have nearly as much pink as the other ones that we're going to talk about, but I still felt like it was good enough to mention in here. So as you can see, you seeing it. Now I'm gonna go off camera and get the battery, and then these 3 palettes that I'm holding are like truly like more of the Barbie aesthetic, Barbie vibe, and they're literally like, a couple of them are literally like collabs with Barbie, so of course, you know, you can't go wrong there. But I'll be right back. Okay, so on to the next palette. So I have the Candy Shop palette from Juvia's Place. This one came out, I think it was earlier this year. I'm pretty sure it came out this year, don't quote me. But this is what it looks like on the inside. It's definitely giving Barbie vibes. I mean, like, look at the packaging. To me, gives like black Nicki Minaj Barbie vibes. That's just what it gives to me. This is what she looks like. It has lots of gorgeous pinks to give you a cute little neutral moment. And then you got some nice like blues. So this could be like a baby shower palette, because it's like pink boy, blue. I mean, blue boy, pink girl. Like, just... And to me, it just gives a whole Barbie feel to it. So that's why I included it in here. Again, I don't know why they keep putting random pops of oranges in here. I don't understand, but you know, whatever. The point is, I feel like it gives Barbie vibes. So of course, y'all know I had to come out with the first Barbie palette that came out. The Malibu Barbie palette from ColourPop. It's definitely giving Barbie vibes. I should have brought the Strawberry Dream from Manny and Meway. Crap, I forgot to bring it. But this is what it looks like on the inside. Again, see, they even feel like Barbie has a little bit of a blue aesthetic to her, because in this one and the other Barbie palette I'm about to show you, there are blues in it. That's why I thought the Candy Shop palette would work nicely with this one, because I'm like, I feel like the Candy Shop and this one are really similar as far as color story goes. So I'm definitely just like, yeah, you can go ahead and see that this is giving a whole Barbie feel and vibe. As it being ColourPop, of course, there had to be some neutrals in it. So there's a few neutrals in here. I'd prefer to have it more like, you know, colorful heavy. And I feel like they still did a decent job being colorful heavy and mainly focusing on pink. But I feel like this is just a great addition to your collection. If you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money and you want to have a true Barbie palette that literally has like the Barbie logo and all that written on it, I feel like this will be a good one for you. There's another one I'm going to show you, and if you're more into colorful eyeshadows like I am, I feel like you'll like that one a little bit better. So next we have, of course, the Glam Light and Barbie Dream Summer palette. This is what she looks like on the inside. And when I say more colorful, this is what I meant. Like, they have this little neutral section over here in the corner just for you to be able to like have colors to use, but they mainly focused on like colorful shadows. They've got pinks, they've got blues, they've got purples, and then you got like a small neutral section. Like, you can use this little part right here and make you a nice smoky eye with a pop of pink moment, if that's how you want to do it, or you can just dive into color head first. So this one I would recommend for people who love color and want to be a part of the Barbie movement, because it's like, even when the Barbie movement is over, you still have blues, you still have purples. I feel like with the ColourPop one, it's more leaning toward neutral with a couple of pops of color. So if you're dabbling your toe in color, you'd like the ColourPop one more, but if you're more into color and used to color like I am, I feel like you would prefer the Glam Light one. And I love the Glam Light one. You might be able to find the Glam Light one at TJ Maxx, because I've seen that one along with the Strawberry Shortcake and like all the Hershey Kisses ones, or like the Hershey Kisses palettes at TJ Maxx. So make sure you go to TJ Maxx and look for that one, because when I saw it, I think it was like $16.99, so you might be able to get a great deal on that one. Okay, on to the smoky Barbies now. So I'm going to show you the one I showed you in the first part that I wasn't supposed to. This is the New Mods. Again, I feel like this is definitely a more mature, smoky Barbie moment for people who are older and don't want to have the hot pink situation, but you can still be a part of the Barbie movement. I did a similar look with one of the Pat McGrath quads that I had. I had a nice little pink moment. I used a shade that was like similar to this one on my lid, and then I had like a dark brown on the outer V, because that's what came in the quad that I used. And I felt like I was a more mature, smoky version of a Barbie. So if you prefer a more mature, smoky Barbie, then I definitely say go ahead with that. Sorry, I'm trying to sit the palettes down and make sure they don't fall on top of each other. So that's why you saw me leaning over just now, and you'll see me lean over a few more times to make sure like the tower of palettes that I'm sitting on top of each other doesn't fall, even though I probably shouldn't do that, but since I am, here we are. Next I have the Glam Light X Hershey Kisses. This is a lava cake palette. I feel like this is definitely a dark smoky Barbie palette, because look, you have the lighter brighter ones, and then you still have some deeper tones for the outer V, and then you have some deeper shimmers and this cute iridescent shimmer right here. So I definitely feel like, again, this would be one for somebody who wants to join the Barbie movement, who's kind of into more mature smoky eyes and doesn't want to have a whole bunch of pink palettes sitting around for when that movement is over and you're not necessarily reaching for these colors that often. I feel like this one would be a good one for you. Now, don't expect it to be the same Glam Light formula as it does in the other palettes. I feel like this formula wasn't as good as some of the other ones. I feel like they're a ColourPop where they have a truly exceptional one, and then they just have an okay one. And to me, this is personally the okay one, so just keep that in mind when looking for this. But again, this is one you can find at TJ Maxx, so that way you can go to TJ Maxx, pick this up, be a part of the movement, and you didn't spend $1 million. So that's another reason I want to recommend this palette, because I have seen all of these palettes at TJ Maxx. Mainly the neutral ones, but I did see the cookies and cream and that one. I think the only one I haven't seen at TJ Maxx is the purple one. Next is the palette that is on my eyes that I did my Barbie look with today. This is the Pretty Chic palette from Colored Rain. I want to use the black on brand to make my Barbie look, so I decided to use this one. So I took the shade Secret Admirer, and that's the one that you see in my crease. I took Sweetheart, put it all over the lid and in my crease, and then I took Daydream on the outer V, and the shade Booked and Busy is the one that's on my lid. Oddly enough, Booked and Busy, I'm gonna swatch it for you. It's like has more of a purplish iridescent type undertone to it, but a little bit of pink, which I was kind of shocked by, because I wanted it to be more like pink on the lid, so I had to put the pink all over my lid and then put this on top of my lid to try to make it work a little bit better for me. But I feel like this could be a good smoky look for you, because you could use the purple on the outer V instead of the red. You can have the bright pink in the crease and all over the lid. This be your crease shade, and you use one of these as your lid shade. So that's why I put this more in the smoky category instead of the traditional Barbie category, if that makes sense. But I definitely feel like, again, this is another one that you can buy that wouldn't be that expensive. I think this is like $16 on Color Rain's website, and then you can use someone's code. I'm pretty sure Trendmood has a code, because I don't know if anyone who has a Colored Rain code. Neon Darius or Dionluvsmakeup might have one, so you can type in Dionluvsmakeup and see, but I'm pretty sure Trendmood has a code to this brand, so you can just type in Trendmood and pick up this palette. Again, I'm trying to find little palettes for people who want to be a part of the movement temporarily, but it's like you don't wear color on a regular basis, so that's why I picked out this palette in particular. So you can have it in your collection, but you don't have to necessarily have spent $1 million to, you know, like join the popular group for the time. You can spend a minimal amount, be a part of it, and then when it's over, you can move on and your wallet hadn't been hit that much. Okay, so next I have my Natasha Denona Love palette. Now y'all know this was one of my this is still one of my favorite MIDI palettes, even though she discontinued it and doesn't make it anymore. I love this palette. It's giving I'm living. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So I love this palette so much. It has nice little reds in it. It has a little pink moment in it. It has a little purple moment in it. So I feel like you can make a purple smoky eye with this. You can make a nice little red romantic Valentine's Day looking eye with it. Or you can do a simple little pink look with the colors at the bottom. I feel like this one would be more versatile. And for the luxury makeup lovers, I feel like you could just pull out your Natasha Denona Love palette and be a part of the Barbie movement. And you just be a smoky Barbie as opposed to a traditional pink Barbie. So that's why I picked this one. Next, I have another affordable palette. So I have the Berries palette from Beauty Bay. This is the 16 pan one, and as you can see, it has some pinks, it has some reds, and it has some nice smoky plum tones. So again, as far as a smoky Barbie, I feel like this would definitely be a smoky Barbie palette because you got the deep burgundy shades, you got a little bit of red, you have a little bit of soft pink if you want to do a soft pink moment and not have to do the traditional hot pink. I mainly try to pick this section for people who don't want to do the traditional hot pink, but you still want to wear some form of pink that feels more true to you. So I decided to go ahead and pick some of these palettes. Now I noticed that with a lot of these palettes there is a little bit of red in addition to pink, and then more burgundy tones, because I feel like these were more geared toward Valentine's Day-esque palettes, and that's why. But this was the one I chose for it, and like I said, I told you all why. But I told you in the beginning, this section is more for people who don't necessarily want the traditional pink. They kind of just want you know, a smoky pinkish type look that's more mature as opposed to like the hot pink situation. So the last Beauty Bay palette I have is the new Romance palette, and this was their Valentine's Day release, so understand why it only has a little bit of pink and not a lot, because people usually do more red. I feel like, in my personal opinion, when it comes to Valentine's Day, then they do pink, but it does still have some pops of pink in it, in my personal opinion. Like you have this pink, and then you have this darker purplish fuchsia pink shimmer right here. So it does have some pinks in it. This one just leans a little bit more traditional, like Valentine's colors as opposed to pink. But again, I feel like it'd be a good option. I try to pick stuff that's already in people's collections that still give somewhat of a Barbie feel, so that way you don't have to go out and buy stuff either. Because a lot of your Valentine's Day palettes, personally, I feel like you could pull out and just pull the pinks that are in the Valentine's Day palette, and then you have your Barbie-esque look and feel without going out and spending more money, because y'all know I'll be trying to save you the coins. The last one I have to talk about is the Unearthly Cosmetics Sleepover palette. Now, I don't know if they make this one anymore, but it definitely gives off some pink vibes. I love this pink shade right here called Flirty. This is probably one of my favorite shades in the palette, along with the shade Sweetheart, and I think it's the shade, yeah, the shade Satin, and this shade down here called Beloved. So I like all of like the unique colored pink mattes in here. I'm not crazy about the shade Sleepover, but overall I like the palette as a whole, and if I had to be a smoky Barbie, I would definitely go for this palette right here. I love the tones in it. I think it looks really nice, and the formula on this one is fine, because I know some people say some of them have hard pan and some of them don't. I didn't have hard pan in my Sleepover palette, so I felt like I should point that out as well when talking about this brand. Okay, lastly we're going to get into the Mermaid Barbie. So a couple of these you might not necessarily see as Mermaid Barbies. I just feel like these are the more fun party colors that I would consider mermaid or fun Barbies, or not traditional pink Barbies, but like, you know, still have a Barbie-esque feel to it. Because since Barbie's done everything, I feel like it's easy to be like, oh well, this is this type of Barbie and this is this type of Barbie, because you got to think how long Barbie's been out and how many different Barbies there are. So I'm gonna start off with this My Freaky Diary palette. I don't know how you say her name, Oya Corlin. I hope I said that right. But she had a set of palettes. She had one that looked like Baddie Bean's It's Freaking Bats palette, and then she had this one right here, which kind of gave me a miniature version of the Barbie palette. So I wanted to include this in here because I thought it would be a more fun version of like the Barbie palette from Glam Light, because it has its purples, but it has like a couple of bright pinks, but it has like a weird blue, and then it has like these shades right here. So I thought like this could be a fun version of a Barbie palette. So I just try to save all the fun palettes that I feel like didn't fit into the other two categories toward the end. So that's why this one is here, and this one is affordable too, because I got this one and her other collab in a bundle for I think like $8 or $10 from Beauty Bay. So I definitely think that this could be a steal for you if, like I said, I keep saying, you want to be part of the Barbie movement, but you know you're not going to wear the colors that often and you don't want to spend a large amount of money. That's what these type of palettes are for. Next, I have the Margarita palette from Glamlight in their, what is it, Happy Hour collection. I feel like this would just be a fun traditional. This to me is more like the Ace Beaute palette that I put at the beginning of the video, where it's like it's just a whole bunch of different fun colors that I feel like would be more like an 80s or a 90s Barbie feel. So maybe I should have put this at the front, but I don't know, I guess because of the color story, and it only has like one somewhat pink shade and the other shades are just random crazy shades, I felt like this would be more like a wild card, like Barbie eyeshadow palette look, if you will. So that's why I put it in here, but I didn't necessarily know what category I wanted to put it in. So last three, I feel like are more like the mermaid Barbie type vibe, or just not a traditional-esque Barbie feel. So I have the Strawberry Shortcake X Glam Light Berry Licious palette. Again, you can find this one at TJ Maxx. I literally went to I found it at Marshalls, I'm sorry, but I literally went to Marshalls like last week and saw this palette there. Now they had dug into the shade so it didn't look the way it was supposed to, but I did feel like this is definitely a Barbie palette, because you have to think there's a good majority of pink and red shades in here. I know there's a row of green, which is why I kind of put it in the mermaid section, because I said blue, greens, purples, and pinks when it came to like the mermaid section for the Barbie section. So that's why I included this toward that part of the video, because you know the greens in it aren't going to be traditional Barbie, obviously, since Barbie is known for pink. But I feel like if you want to do a pink and green look, it would be more like a mermaid Barbie-esque type feel than it would be of a traditional Barbie. So that's why I put it toward the end. Then I have the Sorcery palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. Sorcerer palette. This was my favorite palette from them till the Rogue palette came out. Then I was like, yeah, I think I like Rogue just like that much more. I think it's because Rogue doesn't have these satin shades that she was originally putting in the palettes when they first came out. Y'all know I don't like the satin shades, so I don't like this shade right here. But I love the color story of this palette, and to me this definitely gives me mermaid Barbie-esque vibes, because you got the pinks, but you got blue and you got purple and you got these cool shifting multi-chrome shades. So it's like, I feel like if I was a mermaid Barbie, I would be wearing this sort of makeup. So that's why I wanted to put it in here, because it's just giving mermaid Barbie vibes. Lastly, I have the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Lured palette. Y'all know I'm obsessed with this palette, so this was gonna be in here. As soon as I thought of a mermaid Barbie, this was like one of the first palettes I thought of. It was giving, I was living. I do have one more palette. I'm going to talk about it as a mermaid like Barbie palette, but I don't know if you all will think that's fair or not, because if you all remember, I recreated my what is that palette called? The I recreated my Natasha Denona Circle Local palette. I was going to show that too, but then I was like, I don't know if I should do that, but I'm going to just go ahead and show it, because it's here, you're here, we're all here, y'all know the drill. So this is my Circle Local palette. Now remember, you can pop out the shades and switch them around. So I literally just took the shade, all the fun shades from the Tropic palette in the bottom row, and just put it in the Circle Local palette to make what's going on now. So this is my Circle Local palette, and to me it definitely gives off mermaid Barbie vibes. Like, it's giving I'm living. You got the purples, you got a couple of tones of pink, you got 1, 2, 3 pinks. It mainly does purples and blues though, but that's mainly what was in the Tropic palette, if you all remember. So I had to take what was given to me, but I definitely feel like this is a mermaid Barbie palette, and I would be here for it. So if you're a luxury bougie mermaid Barbie, then I feel like this would be the palette for you. But those are all the palettes I had to talk about in today's video. You can comment down below and tell me if you agree or disagree. I tried to put my own little twist on it, like I try to do with lots of things, as opposed to just doing what everybody else did. That's why I gave you like 3 different types of Barbies, just opposed to just being like, Barbie makeup, push it and take it. But I was inspired by Karen to come up with the idea, so I wanted to make sure I shouted her out. You can use Karen's code at some of these places. So you can use code Cage Makeup at Glamlight. You can use code Cage Makeup at Unearthly Cosmetics. You can use code Cage Makeup at Ace Beauty. You can use code Cage Makeup at Blend Bunny Cosmetics. Was anything else any other brand down here that Karen has a code with? No, Karen doesn't have a code of this place. Karen doesn't have a code of ColourPop. She has a code of Sigma, but I think it's just her name, Karen. You can try Cage Makeup though. I know one place she says it's her name, Karen 10, and it's not Cage Makeup, and I think it's Sigma. Do not quote me though. But yeah, those are all the places that Karen has codes if you're interested in using a code anywhere. Otherwise, you have to use code Fumi when it comes to Juvia's place. But those are all the palettes I had to talk to you about today. Oh, and use code Andrea10 if you're buying from ColourPop, because that's the code for Andrea Montanaro. Those are all the codes that I know of all the brands I just talked about. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.